if they win tomorrow, their playoff percentage is at 55%, which doesn't make us all feel really warm inside like a Buddy's Pizza or anything. But it does make us give hope, right? They're going to have their work cut out for them. We've got some numbers here associated with the Lions and the Cowboys coming in. We know that the Cowboys have the number one passing offense in the National Football League. They also allow the second fewest pressures of any team in the National Football League. So, here you go. The points per game, by the way, that from 29-2 for Detroit is way down over the last 3 weeks. It's down to 21.7. Okay? That's important to note.
Yeah.
So you expect, by looking at all these, I don't have to go over them for you. Folks can see where Detroit is ranked third in points, Dallas 2, total offense 3-1, rushing offense 4-13, passing offense. Third down efficiency, Dallas has been really good as of late in that regard. Okay? Giveaways is always important. It's a big reason why Chicago is so good. Which is going to have the harder time? Detroit's offense against Dallas's defense, which I know sounds funny, but you said it 3 weeks ago. When they got Quinnen Williams, you're like, you know what? I'm a little worried about the defensive line. Or do you think it's Detroit's defense against that high-powered Dallas O?
That's tough. Also, too, the stats are funny. Like, stats are very interesting. Like, you have to really know how to read them because you'll look at the Dallas Cowboys and see them ranked first in total offense and look at the Lions and say, well, they're ranked third. It can't be that bad. And then you have to realize that the bulk of the Lions' offensive stats, yards, touchdowns, and all that, they came against 4 teams.
Right.
Like, that's how stats are very misleading, if you will. The Cincinnati game, the Browns game, the Giants game.
Bengals.
The Bears' first game.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to business.
It's not easy, man.
It's not, and I think I'm gonna have to. The offense versus that defense.
Can I just give you a couple other numbers real quick while you're marinating on it?
Okay.
The defense in the last 3 games for Dallas.
Yeah.
Number 2 in rushing, and number 9 in third down efficiency. They have been really tough during this 3-game winning streak.
Yeah, they have.
Okay? I know Dak Prescott and company get all the love. George Pickens you've talked about.
Yeah.
You've talked about CeeDee Lamb. The offensive line keeps him clean. But that defense over the last 3 games is just as much a reason for them winning as the offense is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Cowboys offense versus the Lions defense.
Okay.
That's the one that I think that's the worst matchup for the Lions. I think on the defensive side of the ball, Lions haven't played well. On the offensive side of the ball, the Lions hasn't necessarily played the best. However, when you look at Dallas, like Dallas gave up 44 points to the Broncos, 27 points to the Cardinals, and it wasn't Cardinals in August. This was the Cardinals 3 weeks ago. They gave up 27. They lost that game. The Raiders found 16 points on the Cowboys. The Eagles, and we know their offense is abysmal right now, they scored 21 points. And then obviously the Chiefs, they scored 28. We don't have Patrick Mahomes, but that offense hasn't been cooking with. They scored 28. So there you can move on that defense. Our defense though, like that secondary, our secondary struggled with multiple wide receiver groups, multiple cores that are nowhere near the level of a CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens. Like Dak Prescott and what that offense has, and now they have two running backs that they can switch the tempo up, switch the pace up. They can change up the rhythm. They can change up the flow. Ferguson is the league leader in touchdowns at the tight end position. What on the defense lets us know that we can stop an offense like that in terms of what we've seen play out? Like, remember, this is a defense that struggled with the Giants. They struggle with the Vikings. They struggle with a couple offensive that they've seen recently. That secondary, who in the secondary do you believe in matching up against CD or George Pickens currently? Who do you believe in currently to match up with Jake Ferguson? Who do you?
Yeah, I don't, quite honestly.
And then their big thing is passing the ball. Where have we seen consistent pressure or even hurries at this point? When have you seen pressures or hurries or getting home to the quarterback to where you think you can knock them off their
rhythm,
their skill, their square? Excuse me.
Yeah. All right. Well, this might be a reach.
Yeah.
But if you ask the question, so I'm going to try and answer it. If I believe in anybody, I believe in, if it's a matchup, Branch on Ferguson. I would believe in that more than anybody else.
Branch has struggled the last.
I know he has.
He's been struggling.
I know. You're asking. I'm really grasping at straws here.
Right.
I'm not going to I don't think it's DJ Reed against George Pickens. I don't think it's Amik Robertson against CeeDee Lamb. You're asking me for an answer. It's pretty tough to do that, especially knowing that Dallas keeps Dak Prescott clean as well as any offensive line does for their quarterback. So if fork to nose, I've got to pick Branch on Ferguson, even though he too has struggled.
And Pickens is officially off the injury report, according to Tom Pelissero just now.
Yeah, he was going to play regardless.
Yeah, we knew that.
Theo Johnson is not as good as a tight end as Jake Ferguson. Theo Johnson gave Brian Branch issues.
I know.
Like, to your point, like I'm not saying that it's not impossible. I'm just saying you asked me what side. I think it's the Cowboys offense versus the Lions defense. That's the one I'm most nervous about, because what happens in that one, if the Cowboys, and it's always going to be an if the Cowboys come out looking like they've looked in the past 4 games on offense, that means they score quick. That means they score early. That means they start off 21, 24 points at the half. Like, that's going to be a tough and a tall order for this Lions offense to keep pace.
Is this the best wide receiver duo they will face this year?
Obviously, the other one would be out in Los Angeles.
Right, which is next week. Cincinnati's had a good one too, but they had no one who to deliver the football to them.
I would say yes, and the reason why is CD and George Pickens can do everything from basically 20 to red zone. They both can. They both can stretch the field. They both can over the middle of the field. They both can catch the slant and take it further. They both can get in the red zone and get featured and score in the red zone. When you play against the Rams, Devontae Adams is going to be your wide receiver 25 and in. Puka Nacua is going to be your wide receiver 20 to 20. And that's what you know and that's what you expect. 20 to 20, they're going to Puka Nacua. Once they get inside that 30, that 25, the fringe area, that's Devontae Adams. That's where he shines. That's why he leads the league. When you go against the Cowboys, both those guys can go 20 to the end zone. Like, that's how they operate with them. Look at last game. CeeDee Lamb, 118 yards, touchdown. That was his makeup game for the past game. The game before that, George Pickens, 130 yards or 140 yards, a touchdown. So I would say it would be this team.
Here's a tougher question. And by the way, Detroit, I mean, there's been some really good wide receiver combos against the Lions this year. I mean, I still think, not that they're better, but Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison is a really good wide receiver combo. We mentioned Cincinnati, really good wide receiver combo. Chicago's got a good receiver combo. It's not as good. I'm just saying there's some really talented.
I'm just looking at, but it's when you would have faced these individuals.
Yeah.
So, like, when you played against the Philadelphia Eagles, who have 2 really good wide receivers.
Smith and Brown,
You played in a win game where they weren't throwing the ball, so you didn't have to deal with it. When you played against Chase and T. Higgins, man, Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco.
Actually, it was Jake Brown.
It was Jake Brown. Right.
Yeah.
University of Washington. Like, that's the quarterback you saw in that space. So when you see CD and George Pickens, you're going to see a full, healthy offensive line. You're going to see 2 running backs, and you're going to see a quarterback that, if we're being honest, if something special happens for the Cowboys down the stretch, you might have a guy in the MVP race.
So, dude, I was just going to bring this up, and I don't want to upset you because I know you're not a huge fan, but you do appreciate what he's done in the regular
100%.
season in his career. Is this the best quarterback they face all year? They've already faced Patrick Mahomes. They've already faced your favorite guy. They're about to face a guy who might be in the running for the MVP. Is he the best quarterback they will face this year in Dak Prescott?
Yeah, he is. You look at the stats. His stats are pretty much secondary right now to only Matt Stafford, the majority of the stats. And obviously, I think Drake May leads the league in passing. Dak second. Touchdowns, Dak second. Dak's third. He's right there. Yards per game, I want to say Dak is actually first in that regard. And also, everybody's healthy. That's what's working so well for the Cowboys. The offense is healthy. Their second running back, having him back, and how he changes up the flow of the game. So you're catching this offense at the best time for them in the season. Everyone's healthy, and everybody's activated with grease. So I would say, yes, Dak will be the best.
So you are 100% right. He is number 1 in yards per game. Take out Jameis Winston, all right? It's not fair. He's number 1 in yards per game, second in yards overall.
Yeah.
Okay, but yards per game, Dak Prescott's number 1. Yards overall, it's Drake May, then him.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, it's Matthew Stafford, then Dak Prescott. Okay, completion percentage. I don't know how important that is to you. Sometimes that's very misleading because you have guys who've dropped some balls, like CeeDee Lamb earlier this year was dropping some passes. Yeah, it was a bit of.
And even when he came back too, he had a bad game. That's when George Pickens went off, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But the other side of that too is where you have to give Dak credit. I'm not in the habit of giving Dallas, Dak, and damn sure not Brian Schottenheimer credit. But look, you're gonna come up here and you're gonna talk about people when they do bad. You better have the ability to say good things too. Dak did a lot of that without CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. So when we talk about CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, everybody, oh well, he had CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. He's got Ferguson. Of course. No. CeeDee Lamb missed 6 weeks, and he still accrued those stats. He still was balling like that. One thing he's done his whole career, turn the ball over. Dak hasn't turned the ball over this year. And this is with no CD for 6 weeks. So you really have to tip your cap to what Dak is doing coming into the season. You saw the arm sleeve. You saw he got tatted up. You saw he lost weight. He wanted to flex and show his guns. And I made jokes of all that in the beginning because I'm not a Dak fan. But now when you look at it, whatever he did in the offseason, he took this season serious. Like Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons and all that may have been one thing, but Dak separated himself from that. And he focused. He's a much better player. It's still the regular season, but he's a much better player than he has been. It looks different.
Well, it also helps that they keep him clean. I'm not taking anything away from Dak Prescott. By the way, he's 5th in completion percentage. But I'm not taking anything away from him. It's not like I've slid over to the Braylon side and said I don't believe in the guy. I think you're right. He's always had good regular seasons, but the postseason have been a challenge for him, and he'll have to slay that dragon if they indeed do make the playoffs. But it does help when you're protected.
Yeah, but that's no different to Jared Goff.
I agree.
Like Dak Prescott, he's a 4th-round quarterback. Let's go back to that. Dak is a 4th-rounder. If you're that great, if you're that good, then you're not getting past the 1st, 2nd rounder if you're a quarterback. He got to 4. But people don't talk about this. When he was drafted, he had a Hall of Fame offensive line.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith is going in the Hall of Fame first ballot. Zach Martin might be the best guard in the last 25 years. He's going in the Hall of Fame. Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 1,600 yards. Amari Cooper on one side, Des Bryant on the other side.
Good point.
Man, you have all this. This is what you inherit.
Travis Fredrickson was the center.
100%.
Good player.
I forgot about Fredrickson. 100%.
Really good
so
player.
when you inherit this, like when you get offensive line, like he's basically having a similar situation now. Like the offensive line started getting weak. The running game was terrible. Ezekiel Elliott got old. They tried to force. I can't think of the guy. They got rid of Pollard. Tried to force him. It just wasn't working. Now your offensive line, a couple 1st-rounders, 2nd-rounders over the last 3 years. You got 2 stud wide receivers, alpha, and you got 2 running backs. So it looks like his rookie year, his first 2-3 years in the league. Like you put somebody behind that, put Jared Goff behind that. It's the same conversation we had about Jared last year and the year before. You give him an offensive line, you give him a running game, you give him a coordinator who knows what he's doing. Because Schottenheimer's drawing up some stuff down there with the Cowboys, and give him 2 wideouts. Yeah. You can have a lot of success.
What have you noticed about their offense that you appreciate? I always think of you when I see teams throw for a lot of yards, and I try to get in your mind thinking, you know what? I'd love to play in that offense. What is it about their offense that would excite you as a wide receiver or an offensive player in general?
They don't force it. Like, it's not an offense where they're just like, look, all right, cool. We have to get George Pickens 100 yards right now. We have to get CD his 7-8 catches to make him happy. Hey, Fergs, we didn't forget about you. We're going to make sure we feature you on 9-10 plays. Like, when you try to operate that way, it's chaos. And you never are able to achieve what you want to achieve. And
but now, teams do operate that way, you're saying.
And they typically fall off. And they typically falter. With this offense, when you watch it, they're taking what's given. Even though it's big plays, it's chunk plays, it's a lot of yards. Dak Prescott, Brian Schottenheimer, they're taking what's there. They're taking what's available. Hey, Ferguson, you know what? They like to play a lot of zone. Like, I think they're going to feature you. It's a zone situation. They get them open in the spots over the middle of the field. Hey, CD, this is a team, man. They're going to press you at the line of scrimmage, and we don't think they can run with you. And what did they do last week? Boom, boom. So I think they do a very good job of seeing what the defense is and really operating within it. Just because they have these stars and all this star power, they don't just feed them. They feed him when the time is right.
Is Schottenheimer, is that his offense? I mean, you know it. Okay.
Yeah, because he loves the run game. Like, Schotty's old school. His father is Marty Schottenheimer. Like, he comes from being able to run the ball, and from the run, now you can establish the pass. Tight end heavy as well. Okay. Like, that was Marty.
So do you agree with that philosophy? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
When you have this team, like, I agree with you.
It's about personnel?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, Schottenheimer, like, you give him this, Not too many people are going to fail with this offense. And fail, but he's taking it, not just failing. Not just succeeding, but succeeding at a high rate.